Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I'm doing this whole brand new setup. I have a mic now, and this is the first time I'm filming a video on this camera. So please bear with me if the settings are a little weird. Anyway, I have recorded this video once fully through, and I almost finished editing it, and then Final Cut decided to delete everything. So I'm here re-recording this video, and I'm hoping that this time I make it a little bit more concise because I did ramble on in the last one. Welcome to the first video of the series that I'm planning on starting here on my channel. It's going to be documenting my wellness journey, going from hormonal imbalance, as we will see shortly, to hopefully optimal health. I hope someone out there finds this somewhat helpful, even if it's just so that you know that you're not alone, if you're going through a similar situation, if you're experiencing the same symptoms as I have been experiencing. I just wanted to throw this quick disclaimer in here saying that in this video and other videos in this series, I will be discussing women's health, mental health, periods, probably other bodily fluids and functions. I'm not too sure exactly. Body parts and things of that sort. So if you're maybe squeamish or like sensitive to certain topics, this might not be the series for you. Also, I would just like to reiterate very clearly that I am not a doctor. I am not a mental health professional. This is all just my personal experience and the things that I've been learning through my research. Anything that I talk about, like research-wise or fact-wise, I will leave links to my resources in the description, and if you need any clarity at all, feel free to comment down below or message me on Instagram. It's just my name, links down in my bio, and I'll be able to answer your questions if they happen to arise. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So just to give a little bit of a recap of my experience with birth control, I've been on birth control for probably about 10 years on and off. I started with the pill, didn't really work for me. I mean, it worked, but I couldn't really remember to take a pill. Then I went on Depo, which is the shot, and that was great. My period disappeared, and as a young adult, I thought that that was more of a perk than a side effect. And all of that was great until I started reading studies about how it can be really bad for your bone density, and there is a history of osteoporosis in my family, so I felt a bit uncomfortable staying on it, so I got off that. And let me tell you, coming off Depo was one of the worst things I've ever experienced. Now keep in mind, this was probably 7 years ago now, maybe longer than that actually, and I still feel traumatized from it, so that's how bad it was. But this video isn't about Depo. And then I came off birth control for a while, went back on the pill, I think eventually. Again, didn't really work for me, came off of it, and then it was recommended to me by a doctor that I go on the IUD. So this is the very brief kind of explanation of my experience on hormonal birth controls. And when I was deciding between the Mirena or the copper IUD, the doctors had recommended that I get the Mirena because with the copper IUD, apparently you get worse cramping, heavier periods, and just some of the side effects of that seemed like things I couldn't handle, considering that my periods have been pretty terrible for as long as I can remember. So ultimately, I decided to get the Mirena because it was recommended to me. So I got the Mirena inserted in March or April of 2019, so last year. And at first, you know, the insertion didn't really hurt. There was cramping. After I got it inserted for the next like 3 or 4 days, I was in excruciating pain. I thought that something wasn't right. I thought that it was like migrating or already implanting or being rejected. The only way I can describe the way that it felt was like giving birth. I have never given birth. However, this is what I assume labor feels like, because it really did feel like something was just trying to evacuate my uterus. That's the easiest way to put it, I think. I did end up going back to the doctors within like a week for them to just check on it, because something did not feel right. And I got like an ultrasound of it done, and they said that it looked perfect and it was fine. And they asked me if the strings were bothering me because they could shorten them. I don't think that I got them shortened. But they sent me on my merry way. And I was like, okay, I guess I just have to deal with this pain, but all right. So that was that. And that's the last time I've gone to the doctor for the Mirena. So within about a week of getting the Mirena, I started to notice some changes to my mental health. I think it's important to note that I had also just gone through something pretty traumatic in my personal life that I thought was affecting these things. I thought that this was the cause of my mental health changing. So I started experiencing extreme depression. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to like lay in bed all day and do absolutely nothing. My motivation for anything just completely disappeared. I felt like I had no purpose. I felt like just numb. It was horrible. Luckily, thank goodness, I have such a supportive partner, Dexter, who has been incredible through all of this and as understanding as I could ever really hope for, because it's been difficult. It's a difficult thing to go through, and it's a difficult thing to see your partner go through, is like this horrible wave of depression. Along with the depression, I was getting a lot of anxiety, and now I have anxiety like already basically every single day. It's just like something I deal with. But it was like to another level where like I didn't want to leave the house, and everything just made me basically feel like I was going to throw up. Okay, so future me here, editing Caitlin, hi. I just realized that I forgot to mention one of the main things that I experienced when on the Mirena was that my period 100% disappeared. So I haven't had a real full period since like January or February of 2019. Since then, until now, I haven't had a period. Okay, back to the video. And that has lasted basically since the beginning. So these kinds of symptoms started popping up springtime last year, and now we're getting into like the beginning of fall in 2020, and it's still, well, it's starting to go away now, but we'll get there. So another major symptom that I had been experiencing was brain fog, which is very difficult, especially when you work independently. You have to really kind of be on the ball, and sometimes I'm not on the ball. And I've been known to be a person that repeats myself anyway, but that's just been like exponentially greater over the last year. And also, if, say, for example, Dexter were to ask me to do the dishes, and, perfectly acceptable request, And I would just completely forget. And, that part really sucks because the last thing I want is for someone to feel like I'm not a person of my word because I said I would do something and then I just completely don't do it. But in that regard, journals have been really great because I've been able to keep track of things. I've gotten a lot better at tracking things and making notes for myself, which has been greatly helpful. Anyway, brain fog. It's horrible and I want it to stop. So those are kind of the main things that started to affect my mental health. Now, physically, it gets worse. And I'm sorry, some of this is probably gross, but it is what it is, and I'm going to share it. I would also like to point out, before we get too into things, that I know that I don't go to the doctor nearly as much as I probably should. I have always been this way. I feel like I was kind of raised this way because I was raised by my grandparents and they were always the home remedy type of people. You don't go to a doctor until it's like extremely serious. So I just always felt like I could deal with these things on my own, or they were such gradual kind of, the progression of everything was so gradual that I never really noticed it was a huge problem until it was a massive problem. And really, I've only really noticed that it's been a massive problem over the last week. And now I'm doing something about it. Just wanted to throw that out there. I know that like this list of things, if I heard anybody tell me that this is how they were feeling or what they were experiencing, I'd be like, go get checked out. But I've just, my ignorance with my health and the neglect with my health, I am fully taking responsibility for, and I know that it's not good. So I just wanted to also throw that out there because I'm like reading these symptoms over and talking, and I feel like I just should probably mention that. So, hair loss. I started losing hair. Now, I shed also like quite a bit of hair. My hair is decently thick. I mean, right now it's not. You can see, like, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm like literally just by touching my hair, I'm pulling hairs out of my head. But I'm talking like clumps of hair. Whenever I wash my hair, there would be like so much hair. And it was just like disheartening every time. I would like run my fingers through my hair and I would pull clumps and clumps of hair off of my head. I've been wearing my hair up a lot because of that, and I know that that's like actually even worse for your hair because it's like pulling on the roots. But yeah, it's been horrible losing as much hair as I've been losing, and I don't wish it upon anyone. Dry skin, huge pores, and like my skin has gotten way more textured. I felt like before it was a lot smoother. Body odor, weight gain, and for no particular reason. Like, I feel like I eat decently healthy. It's not like I'm sitting around all day eating a box of Oreos, but, you know, it is what it is. The extreme cramping has come and gone every few weeks where it gets to the point where I've keeled over and I am screaming. Also, nausea has been a big one, and also feeling like I couldn't eat because everything that I put into my body made me feel sick, which leads me to heartburn. Heartburn has been a huge one, keeping me up at night. It's not pleasant. Headaches, night sweats. This one is probably my least favorite. Facial hair growth, which is where my thoughts of this is a hormone thing and not just that like I am sick really came from. and it's just right here, really, where I have these little hairs spring up, and they're dark and thick, and I want them to go away. So once I started noticing the like little facial hair growth happening, I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. Nothing in my brain said it's the Mirena, or maybe it's your birth control that's like messing you up, even though you know it's a hormonal birth control, because I had never experienced symptoms this bad and this persistent. Everything before had been very much like it would pop up for a bit and then be gone. So all of this was very new to me. If you have been following me for any length of time, really, you probably know that I am a diehard Carissa Pukis fan. And I remembered that Carissa had done videos a while ago about balancing her hormones. And this had to do with like when she was getting her breast implants removed and, you know, gaining her health back through that. And it's funny because looking back now, when I listened to her listing her symptoms of her breast implant illness, a lot of those symptoms were the same for me. And I remember thinking, like, this is crazy. Like, I remember listening to her list her symptoms and saying, it's crazy that I'm experiencing all these things, yet I don't have breast implants. And so that, it raised some red flags, but also at the same time, I didn't do anything about it, which I probably should have. So I remember Carissa talking about a woman who did a lot of work around women's health and hormone balancing and everything, but I couldn't remember her name. So I actually sent Carissa a message on Instagram. She quickly replied and linked me to Dr. Jolene Brighten. Blah. That is a tongue twister if you are trying to speak quickly. And so I went and I started reading all of the stuff that Dr. Brighten has on her Instagram page and everything. She actually wrote a book called Beyond the Pill, and I went out and bought it the next day. And here is the clip that I took when I first bought the book, because I feel like it's a good segue. Hello, friends and people watching this video. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, and it's kind of something a little bit uncomfortable to talk about, I guess. So I have an IUD right now, and I've had it for about a year, a little bit over a year, probably like 18 months. I've been having freaking crazy symptoms, and I feel like trash. I am taking out my IUD. That's like the short version of this. I'm taking out my IUD, and I just need my health to get on track, because I can't deal with this anymore. It's fucking ridiculous. And the fact that like this device, or just hormonal birth control in general, is so recommended for like every woman ever, and I wholeheartedly don't believe it anymore. And the shitty part is, this isn't the first hormonal birth control that I've been on that I've had problems with, but I don't even know. So I went to Michael's while I was waiting for the bookstore to open, and I got a wellness planner that I'm going to be using alongside this book, the Beyond the Pill book. And I just want to really document my journey, because I think that women's health is something that people don't talk about, and I'm tired of it being taboo. So we're going to talk about it, and that's it. So I ended up finishing reading that book within like a day and a half. And so much of what she says in that book makes sense for me. Reading Beyond the Pill really solidified to me that hormonal birth control is not for me. No. Full stop. I just can't do it. If it works for you, that's great. But please, please, please be aware of what long-term effects it can have on your body, because I had absolutely no idea how bad it could be. Because doctors don't tell you. They just say, oh, you have cystic acne, go on the pill. Or you have terrible periods, this will stop your period. For some reason, I thought that not having a period was a perk of birth control instead of a symptom. Because really, it's the natural process. It's your natural cycle. And I honestly feel like I've had such a rude awakening through all of this, because I'm now realizing how much I appreciate the natural rhythm of things. I will never go on a hormonal birth control ever again in my entire life, because I can't put my body through it anymore. I know I can't. So that leads us to this whole thing here. Now that we know my experience with the Mirena, I did remove the Mirena. I removed it myself, which I don't necessarily recommend unless you feel very comfortable with your own body and you know exactly what you're doing, what you're looking for. Watch a few videos. I watched a few videos on YouTube before I made the decision to remove it myself, because I wanted to make sure that it was safe to do, which it was. I know that all of it came out, and like nothing broke off or anything. But I watched a few videos, and what really made me feel secure in doing it myself was that I saw a video of doctors, like real doctors, saying that sometimes they will leave the strings longer so that a patient can remove it herself. And yeah, so I did that. And here is the clip that I took basically directly after that happened. Hello. It is late. I've read a lot of that book already. And it's incredible, and I cannot wait to delve like deeper into everything. However, so like I said earlier, my goal or my intention was to have my IUD removed. And after reading everything and, you know, the symptoms that I was experiencing, which I will talk about probably tomorrow at some point, or later in this video for you guys, it got to the point where I just couldn't handle it anymore, because the symptoms were still going on all day today, and I just kind of had enough. So I pulled out my IUD myself. There was no way for me to get an appointment to get it removed for like weeks, and also coronavirus. So like I'm already a little bit more hesitant than I would be to go to the doctors. But I just pulled it out like 10 minutes ago. I'm sweating because it was a bit of a struggle, but I did it. Do you want? I'll show it to you if you want. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow after I like clean it and stuff, because now it's just sitting in my bathroom. I know that this is just like emotionally, but I feel like a huge weight has been lifted. Yeah. It didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. I thought it was going to be like really bad. But it was actually not terrible. It just felt like as I was pulling it out, it was like a regular period cramp. And then afterwards, like even right now, I have like very minimal cramping. But, you know, nothing compared to how my periods were when I was having periods. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I haven't had a period since like January or February of 2019. So, and it's August 2020. So that's how long it's been since I've had a period. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to like film this now while everything is still very fresh. I am like sweating. My God. And the curls are just coming out to play tonight, apparently. Also, I feel, you probably can't see on camera because I'm holding my phone, but like I feel pretty shaky. But I think that might just be an adrenaline thing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry if you can hear Dex playing video games in the background. But yeah, it's happening. This journey has started and I am no longer on birth control. So now the healing begins. So I don't know if you noticed, but between the first clip that I showed you of me in the car and me directly after I removed the IUD, there's a huge difference in my face. And that is the same day, I would like to point out. That is the exact same day. So I think that that's crazy. So I have my wellness journal here, and I haven't fully started it yet because I want to start, well, I'm starting it technically tomorrow. So today, because it is going to be September 1st when this video goes up. And yeah, I'm excited to document this journey. So in Beyond the Pill, there is a whole 30-day program, which originally I was thinking I was just going to do that completely. However, after doing a bit more research on my own and just kind of because of the way I know my lifestyle is right now, like with work and things like that, I don't think that the program is going to work completely for me. So I'm going to kind of do a modified situation. I will explain this more as we go along, but essentially I'm going to be doing a big round of supplements and probiotics and a lot of, for the first 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing a lot of liver cleansing things. So basically like a mini liver detox. Moving on from there, I'm going to be focusing on an anti-inflammatory diet for the time being. And yeah, not just that, I'm going to also be working more on my mental health. I'm going to be documenting all of it, so you will see everything. I removed the IUD a week ago yesterday, so I've been without it for a week now. I feel amazing already, and in comparison to how I was feeling, but I know that I can feel even better. So my goal for this whole wellness journey is I want to get my hormones on track and balanced, and then I want to be in optimal health so that eventually within the next like year or so, to start trying for a wee little baby. So that's kind of what this is all about. This is sort of a precursor to a fertility journey. I just really want to know my body better, and I want to be able to trust it to do the things that I need it to do. So that's really it. As far as tracking everything goes, I will be doing, I think, weekly check-ins. I haven't really fully worked all of this out yet, so that's going to be a bit of a process. But I'm going to be tracking my basal body temperature. I'm also going to be doing seed cycling along with all of this like liver reset and anti-inflammatory diet. But I'm going to go into all of that in the next video. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already and you're interested in keeping up to date with what I'm doing for my health. And I think that's it. I'm sorry this was really rambly, but I think I've fit everything in. If not, well, I'll fit it in next time. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm excited for this journey, and I hope that you are going to join me on it. So that's it. All right. Have a good one. Bye.